Good evening. Okay, good evening, guys. Sorry for coming late to this class. Kind of interesting. Okay, so just let's say a word of prayer, then go straight to what we have for today. Jesus' name, Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love, for your help us to start this program. And for today, that as we start, we pray you give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we need to make it a reality in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So we will just go straight to what we have for today and we'll actually try to do something important today. Let me just share my screen. So, okay, we're able to actualize the nav bar yesterday and we're able to actually try to get the nav bar. There's one thing I want us to put in mind is when building or when learning tech, the best way to learn tech is by building projects, not to, in terms of IT itself, it's by doing a real life scenario project. That is why we try to do the project, not to actually teach you guys everything in there, but to give you guys the things you need to start with. So that once you start, you can follow up continuously. And if you're able to build a page from starting to end yourself, that means you are good. Regardless if you don't know some things, as time goes on, there are some things that you will know as time goes on. There are some things I'm knowing now. I could have said, no, let me wait till I know all of them before I start tech. No, you will not learn. So it's an advice. We try and follow the project. Anything I do, try and do it. And if you don't understand anything, maybe peradventure you missed some classes and you want to, if you don't understand anything, go back, follow the other previous class. And if you still feel you need help, you can chat us up and boom, you will get the help you're looking for. So once you are able to chat us up, I bet you definitely get the help you're looking for. But if you don't chat us up, I bet you might not really get the help you're looking for because we aren't magicians. We aren't magicians. We don't really know what you'll be needing. We don't really know where you get it lost or where you're finding it difficult to understand. So we can't really help you from afar if you don't come closer and say, let's help you. So once you find anything difficult to get, you can chat us up or even email us on our channel, on our YouTube channel. I'll definitely reply. For those that have emailed us, sent us a notification, we always reply. And for those that haven't, fine. For those that chatted us up directly, we definitely reply them. Sorry, trying to check my network. If you hear me, please can you send a message and be sure that I am be here. Okay. So that is the problem that many people have kind of feeling. Okay, I know little things here, but I can code at least. I can do one or two things, but uh, no, I want to know more. I want to know many things. I want to do this. I want to. You can't not take that way. You can. You just need to be confident with what you have, and as time goes on, you will get the remaining. So let's just go to what we have for today. Let me share my screen now. Let me do this. So this is where we stopped in our last class. So put in mind, programming is just like your file, your normal file. Our document that we have at home is what gave birth to programming, storing things online. So rather than storing those papers of your information at home, that is where the website comes into play. You can store them online and millions of persons can read those papers to millions of persons for them to read. You're actually giving, so you're actually trying to make sure those papers are the hands of so many persons around the world. So that is where what the website tells you to do. So that is why you can see we are able to try and create files. Let me open what we did. So let's see how it looks again. So you can see what we actually did last time was just navbar. And if you follow through what I have done here and you're able to get to this level of navbar, I bet you will be able to understand what we are doing. And if you have been following the class since we started, or you peradventure you came late and you still want to learn programming, the advice I will actually give to you is to task yourself and see through that you go through the previous classes we had. Put in mind, the previous classes we had is not that an in-depth one. We haven't done JavaScript that you'll be scared of now. So you can just try and go through them, and I bet you get a kind of relief when you watch us do some things or explain some things like navigate through files and all that. So and if you are still finding it difficult to understand, you can still go and watch a video online. Me, till date, I still solve online. I still go online to look for things. Still go to YouTube to look for things. I'm not kind of uh going to go to YouTube and say no, I know it or no. I don't know it all, so I go to YouTube most times. Anytime I find something difficult to do, I go to YouTube. If I have studied and it's not working, I go to YouTube and try to get an in-depth understanding on that thing. And boom, I find at the end of the day, I solved a problem that might have taken me a whole tons of study. So, so guys, try and do same. If you are trying to follow up and you don't really understand, you can reach out to us. You can go online and look for a helping hand, and you will definitely get. So the next thing we're going to work on now is the hero section. Let's look for it's the hero section. We're going to try and work on the hero section and see through that the hero section is done and some other things. They will try and do some other things to see. Remember, I've taught you guys positioning. I've taught you guys, I actually explain positioning, I actually explain flex for you guys. That is why there are some things I use I might not really explain it very well because I know I've done that in my previous video with you guys. So if you look at it very well, we have gotten the nav bar. So it's to put the hero section now. And once you're able to do that, we'll go to the next thing that we have for the day. So let's figure out the hero section. So this is the hero section. So put in mind there are ways you can add a picture to the background. It's either you, whichever way that suits you, you can add it directly as an image file. You can add it directly as what's it called? As a background image. Whichever way, I think I've explained such to us in our previous classes. I think I've done that. So, or whichever way, we'll just try and do the both of them and see whichever one work for us. And before we go to the next section, so let's just see that this is working now. So we want to write our img file, img file. So I will do the two ways that will suit us. Then we'll come back and maybe do another way to see that we get this understanding properly. So now the first way is to add it as an image, to add the hero picture as an image. So src, I've taught you guys about image file. So now because of this file is here and I want to access the image file here. So the image file is here. So what will I do? I will actually, since they are on the same page, the index of HTML and the asset are on the same page, I will not have to, I can use slash or I can use dot slash. Now it means this dot means you're accessing a file on the same directory. So on the same directory means on the same position. If you go to, if you enter here now, you will see that both the what's it called, the asset and the image are on the same directory, on the same place where the files are being stored. They are on the same page, so you can see. So that is why I was able to go dot slash or slash alone can work. Anyone can work. Then I'll enter into the asset slash the image, then slash the hero section. So with this, boom, we have gotten our image attached. You can see our image is attached. And you can see that this is fixed. So like this alone, we have gotten our hero section, but it's not really properly done. You can see there is space here, there is space there. So we still have to fix it properly before we can move further. But looking at it alone, we have almost gotten what we have here and getting ready to enter the next section. And so, well, let's just see through that we solve this and make it look the way it's supposed to look. It's not just by doing, let's make it look the way it's supposed to look. You can see the look is coming out, the look is coming out. That is one beauty about building a site. It's not just let me be sure that we are hearing me, okay? I think my voice is kind of loud. So it's not just by I've built something, but it's by building it. And if somebody sees it, the person will, oh wow, we did this. And so this kind of wow statement needs to come from the person's mouth. So that is your guarantee that you are good with what you do. So, and it's not just by uh I can do it, it's by proving it with the codes. So we have succeeded in adding the image. Now let's add the text. You can see the text that is here. Be our architect. So we'll add that also. And so I might just do the same thing that we did here. H3, H3. But now this span, if you look at it, you can see that this one is the one that has the box. So the span to me will be on the BR. So like I said, span are inline elements. So you can use them inside an element. So normally we are not supposed to use span inside. We are not supposed to write anything inside the H3 or is the header element, but now because of the work of span, we can write stuff inside. So if you look at not showing where it's supposed to show at the middle. So this is where styling comes into play. So let's just get ready for styling. So with this, our image is ready, our hero section is ready, where it needs to look tush as it's supposed to look. Please excuse me. Okay, sorry, went out to figure out something. So let's continue with from where we stopped. So if you look at it clearly, uh, our work is actually almost completed. So now let's go back to our styling. So we have to give this a class name. Let's give it a class name. A class name. What should we give it? Hero section. Hero section. So these are hero section. So I'll go to our style and these are hero section. So now let's container the height we want and the width. So what will give the container a width of 100%, 100% or 100 view width. 100 view width means from here to the end horizontally is 100 view width. So we'll give the height 10%. So we use percent. So now if we save this and let's give the image a star hero image. So I'll just give this width 100%, height 100%. So why am I giving this width 100% and height 100%? Sorry, class, not star. So if you look at it clearly, you can see it has actually lapped the way we want it to be. It's actually stood. Why are we giving the image 100%? Because we've already given the container the normal height that we need it to have. Then what we need to do now is to give the image to follow through what the container has. That's why we are giving the image 100% and height 100%. So what the image is going to do now is going to automatically take this and replace what it has here. So that is why you are saying it's filled up and it has been what it needs to have. So the next thing we need to take is this. We need to take this inside. So what are we going to do? We are going to make this here positioning comes into play. We're going to say position relative. So we are giving this position relative so that this anything that we want to put on top of this will have automatically take its cost. Like it's already relative to its position. So it's already relative to this space that it has. So we can make something absolutely like we can place something anywhere and in any corner of this hero section because we have automatically made. And I'm looking for something. Did we make? Okay, let me check properly to be sure. Okay, position fix. Let me add left 0 to be sure. Okay, so we want to make this position relative. Then we'll come down to this one. class hero contents. So make this one hero content. Then so we cannot place anything on top of it since we already have the hero section position relative. So anywhere around this size, we can place this content on top. So now position absolute will make us paste that. So position absolute. Then let's take something now. Let's say top 0. So you can see now we have pasted this top 0 here. So it's at the top now. So we can even paste it uh, bottom 0. So you can see that it's at the bottom. You can even paste it side by side. Okay. Now I know what I'm trying to find. The hero section is covering our nav bar because it is kind of having reference to the nav bar. So that position relative took it on top of the nav bar. So what are we going to do? There's something we call Z index. So Z index means you are taking something on top of the other. So if I give the Z index of 10, it will come on top. And if I come down to our hero section again and say, okay, I just want to use it to explain Z index. Z index. If I come here and give this 22, it will still be on top of our. So if I come down and say, okay, since our nav bar is uh 10, I might give this one 9. So that 10 is above 9. So Z index takes something on top of the other, no matter where it is, as far as the Z index is higher. So it takes it on top. So that was what was confusing me. I was like looking for my nav bar, where is it? But I noticed that the because of the position relative is kind of covering it. So I think this is solving our problem now. So now let's focus on this one. So I can paste this maybe 50% to the left, 50%. So it will be at the middle of it. So what we are going to do, we're just going to use the top 50% and left 50%. So it's going to focus at the middle. So you get, so it's going to focus at the middle, but I'll take this up and just put 40%. So because of the kind of height we give, so I think this is okay. So let's say this, let me just use 100% here. So that it's not going to go above what we have. So I think it's not scrolling to the side again. So now if you look at it clearly, we have actually positioned it. So you can see I've actually positioned it to be where it's supposed to be. So just by positioning. So first of all, the main positioning, for us to be able to navigate through that aspect that we have, we actually added position relative. So we can actually push this content anywhere around this hero section. Why? Because of the position is relative to itself, and now we want to use position absolute to take it to anywhere. So you can take it to the top 40%, or you can even use 40 pixel, whichever one works for you. So, but I just want to take it to the middle, so that's why I'm using this aspect. So whichever one works for you, you can still use what is it called? Uh, uh, flex to achieve this, but I feel position is preferable for me. So you can still use flex to achieve it. If it works for you, fine. So the way you can use flex to achieve it is by giving this a container, a diff container. Then making that diff container, the way you made this 100%, I'll make the diff container. Let me just do it. So see. So I'll take this out and put here. So since I have made this position absolute, I will just take this, I'll just make this zero, zero. I'll make this zero. Yeah. And I'll just do display flex, align item, center, justify content, center. So I'm going to make it to be at the center with 100% height, 100%. So it's going to take the whole shape of this 100% is going to take the whole shape of this size of the hero section. So you can see we've achieved it the same way. But you can see that we wrote more code with the using of Flexbox. We wrote more code. So you can see we achieved the same thing. You can see it's at the middle. But it's still the same thing like positioning it now. But after positioning it now, we just have to make that container cover the whole shape of the container. It's been nice, like we are playing around with it, we are pushing it here, but we don't want to push it anyhow. We just have to make it cover the size. Then try to use Flexbox to take it to the middle. And so, but whichever way, I feel this is kind of long. Okay, let me just leave this for a while. Make sure you are coding with me. Let me leave it for a while so you guys will have chance to see it. And you can see we added a container also here. This is kind of long for me. So that is why I had to make do with just this. And make do with just so you can see we wrote lesser code and we achieve the same thing. So whichever one works for you. So let's style this. Then once we are done styling this, we'll come down and use a background image for it so that we know we are not styling this again. So once we are done with using the background image, boom, we are done with the hero section. Already the hero section is already completed the way it is now. So let's go to the style. Now, what I will do is to give this because this already a H3 tag. You can see it's H3 tag, so I'll just style it from here. And since we are using this, I will just easily know what's there. So let me take it to this other Chrome. But I'm taking it here because I already have extension on this my Chrome. So I can easily know the size of this font. So you can see 400 line height. So this is the normal font. Why this is the spam? So I will start the normal font first. So line height 54 pixel. Font weight. See, all this thing I'm writing is not for fancy. Font, if your font look wrong, your font will not make. You can see the way this font is here, it makes the work look neat and good. So that is why you need to know how to style your fonts. So that your work will look sharp. So what did we have here? And color, okay, color F1 was purely white. So font size, font size is 36 pixel. Let's see how it looks without the font size. You can see the way it looks now, but with the font size, it looks bigger. You can see it's not coming the way we want it to come. Now let's put our later spacing. Let me go and copy the one I used over. I think the same thing I'm using. And see later spacing 5. So our later spacing is 5. You can see it's coming out well. So eh, what they did was to push this down so it will. So there's something we need to do to make this comes out very well. Object fit cover. I think so. So let's push this down a little to the text. Let's push it. Let's make it 50 or 45 so it can actually be at this point. So let's just make it 50. Well, it's not at the middle. That is what I'm kind of looking at. Okay, whichever one that works. So just try and 48. Let me make it 48. I just want it to be on top of this. So okay, I think it's coming out well the way like it is like this. So now, let me style this other alphabet. So we are going to add class name for this and put hero. Let me just use hero logo. Trying to use kind of similar kind of content. So it will, I hope nobody has sent a message. Okay, let me be sure. Okay. So you just have to put similar kind of content. So on our style is like I can easily locate it or track it. If you can use content that you might not easily find, it's kind of going to be weird. So now let's go to the next one. What will I do? Okay. So we are done with this. Now let me look for this. Let me look out for this. So this one is 36, almost the same thing. 700 bold. This one is 400 bold. So I'm just going to copy this. So it's the same thing. So since it's the same thing, I'm not going to copy all of them. I'm going to copy only this and make it 700. You can also download it. Is what fonts? Say it here on Google extension. And this one is pure white. It's not direct. This color is pure white. So this is it. So I think you can see it's looking different now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to give it a background color, but we don't really, we can get the background color with this under extension. You can color picker eyedrop. So you can take it, color picker eyedrop, background color. So with this, I have gotten my color. So, but it's not transparent. Theirs is transparent. You can see it. So I will make it transparent by just hovering on top and reducing it. So it's transparent, but it's not appearing well. Not appearing well. It's transparent, but not appearing well. So I think this is it. So the next we are going to do is to give it a kind of padding. So you can see the space is clear. So I'm just going to give it a kind of padding to make it look good. So padding 10 pixel. So with this, we have gotten what we need. So what I'm going to do now is kind of putting this, and I'm going to push this out to 45. So I think 45 is preferable. So boom, think is now where we need it to be. Yeah. So I'm going to take this up a little. I'm going to still put that 45 that we talked about. Yeah. Think it's now coming out the way we need it to come out. So with this now, we have gotten what we needed. You can see the hero section is done. So the hero section is done. You can see it's clearly, it's kind of done. So I'm still going to reduce this also so that, yeah, it's transparent and we are getting what we needed it to do. Yeah, so I believe you guys are hearing me. If you are hearing me, you can just indicate that you're hearing me. So with this now, we have gotten what we needed. So you can see that we actually use short code to do that. And so you can see this is just the hero section, and we are done with the hero section. So you can also use background image to get this done. I might comment this, and let's take this to this. Okay, I can also use background image to get this done. Rather than doing this, I can just say, okay, background image URL. So now I can also use this to actually put my background image to work. So what I'm going to do now, since the style here and the assets are not in the same folder or the same directory, I will need to go out of it. And how can I go out of it now? Is by 1 2 slash. So I've gone out of the style now of the folder that holds this style.css. 1 2 slash to locate assets. So I've located assets, then I'll locate image, then I'll locate hero section. So boom, we have gotten our hero section. But it will not really come out. It will not really come out. You can see it's not coming out. So, but the only thing we'll do now is to put what's it called? Background background position. Let's put a background position center so that it will position at the center. And then we'll put a background repeats, no repeats, so that it will not repeat itself. Sometimes the image can repeat itself. So I have to remove that. Background size cover. It can cover the size that we are looking for. And then background size cover, no repeats, position. I think this is it. This is all we need to get this. Why is it not working? But it is solid. Right. View heights. Okay. Now you can see it's still the same thing. Whichever one that works for you. So I've succeeded in using the rather than using this image here. So let me just take it out so you see what I'm saying. So rather than using this image here, I can use our background image to get that done. You can see the background image here. So background image is here. This is to set your background image. You can see it clearly. This is the way to set your background image. And you can see it's also background position, center, and you can see it also background repeat, no repeat, and you can see it also background size, cover. You can use contain, but contain does not contain like try to fit it with the image, its size, or cover try to cover it to fit the container size. That is the difference between cover and contain. Contain is used in some places where you just want the image size to show. But when you want the image to cover the container that you are using to work, you have to put cover. That's why you can see on this aspect, you have to use cover. So it can cover up the image size. So you can see, boom, we actually achieved the same thing using whether image. Let me still keep it here. Using whether this or using this. The main reason why I use view height is still the same thing with 100%, with 110%. But now most times your that percentage means it's kind of looking at the parent container to give it that size. And the parent container is the overall container. If you look at it very well for this particular container, is the overall container, which will not work. So that was why I use 110 view height. When you talk about 110 view height means it looks at this current height of the screen. So that is what view height talks about, just like view and height. Looks at the current height of the screen and use that relative. So if you use 100 view height, it will just take the size, the equation of the screen. Let me just, okay, do something now. Let's put uh 50 view height. So it's going to go half of the view you get. So if I go back to 100 view height, it's going to go full height. You can see I can scroll. Well, for the fact that I did 110 view height, I can scroll a little, which is what we have here. I can scroll a little. So I can just make it to 05, 105. So I can scroll a little. So that is what we were trying to achieve, and boom, this is it. We have achieved the hero section with different pattern, whether by background image or by image itself, we are still able to achieve it. And now, if you are using background image, since I'm using background image, there will be no need for this one if I want to. I can take this off. Let me just comment it. I can take this off and I can take this off. Then I will use uh, display flex, align item, center, justify content, center, and I will just copy this width and height and put here. So boom, you can see it. You have achieved the same thing. So you can see it clearly. We have achieved the same thing with just putting it at the middle. So if you want to, so let me give this. mm, okay, kind of thinking about something. So let's give this space. Whenever space doesn't work, let's just put something that will make it work. Margin left, margin right, 10 pixel. I think, I want that space. So I think this space is kind of bigger. I want this space here. So margin left 20, 15. So boom. I think this is it. So whichever one that works for you, you can decide to use anything that works for you. So you can see we decide to remove our positioning. We decide to move our positioning. You can say I've removed the positioning and use flex. But you can see it's kind of still longer if I use flex. Whichever one that works for you. But I think this takes it to the middle, the actual middle. Why positioning? The risk about this positioning is if we are talking about if you want to start doing responsiveness, you start to start adjusting, and that is why I hate using positioning most times. If you're using positioning now, you have to start adjusting, adjusting, and adjusting. So I will always adjust this. But with this now, I don't need to adjust. It will always be at the middle. So that's why I'm showing you the benefits of using flex now. So using this, it will always be at the middle, regardless of where. Let's just see something. Let me just show you guys. So you can see it's still at the middle. Let me remove this and put this. Okay. So you can see as I'm reducing it, it stick to the middle, stick to the middle, stick to the middle. So now, but for if I comment this, and let's use this, watch what will happen. I will always have to uh, adjust it. You can see already it's out. You can see where it is now. You can see where it is already. I will always have to adjust it to be at the middle. I will always want to adjust it. For some screens, I will adjust it. For some screens, I will adjust it. You can see it's already out. You can see where it is. But now let's comment this and comment this out, and let's comment this also. So watch what will happen. This will always fix it to the middle, no matter how you go. This will always stick to the middle. You can see. So that is the benefit of using flex, and that is why I want to show you guys that. So it will always keep it at the middle. So even the other one that we are using this, we're using this. I'll tell you, you can still use the div if you want to use the div and keep it to the middle. So you not have to come back and start writing adjustments, adjustments, adjustments. So whichever one that works for you, fine. We are still doing different kind of hero section. which I will leave the code for you. You can still come back and watch and watch and watch. So let's go to the next section. Let's go to the next section. So what is the next section? The next section is this project section. So the project section is not that tedious. We'll just get that done now. So get that done and boom. So there are ways you can get this done, which will help you. I think we are writing JavaScript now. We could have done this aspect from our JavaScript so that we'll not actually write it multiple times. So we could have done it from our JavaScript without writing it multiple times. We can just do it once and look through it and populate it with different contents. And it should just speak like this. So now, but let's just do it one after the other and do it and get its containers for it. So the next thing we are going to work is the project section. So looking at the project section, we have two different containers, two major different containers. What and what? The project header and the contents. That is where structuring comes into play now. You need to learn how to structure. You don't just jump into building. You need to know what and what I need to get this done. So you can see we need the project and the body, project header and the body. So I have to separate this with two divs, one and two. So this is the header, and I'll just put H3 tag there, project. So I've put our H3 tag. Then this one I'll put, you can see this one will have 8 different containers. So I'll just put 8 different containers. So I'll copy and paste this. So I'll copy and paste this. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe this will not really take our time. Maybe we might stop here. If there is time, might still entire. But I don't think we will complete this today. Maybe next week we are going to come and complete this aspect. Then if we are able to, by next week we'll be done with this whole full page. I believe so. If we can do this next week and do this, I think on Thursday we'll not do this and do the responsiveness. So by next week we might be, not that we might, we'll be done with this whole full page. So I'm trying to take it gradually, so you can take your time and understand it, not by building. I'm trying to take my time to explain it. And keep in mind, most of the things I'm saying here are things we talked about before now. So I'm trying to make sure I give you guys this stuff in the most simplest way. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. So let's continue. Sorry for that. So we'll try and take this little by little. So we'll do this today, then tomorrow or next week, Tuesday, we'll do this and do this. Then we'll do this and do this. Then we'll do the responsiveness. That same day we are doing this and doing this. Do the responsiveness. But you can still go ahead of me with what we have done now. You can still understand and try to do this on your own. If you can, that will help you a lot. One thing that I've built that have made me grow to this level is anything I'm learning, I try to build a project on it. That will make you stronger. That will make you good rather than waiting for the right time. The right time is now. Try to build something. As you are building, if you don't really understand, ask me question. If you don't really get again, you can still ask uh Google on some things. And if you don't really get with Google, you can come to us at any time and ask us questions. We'll answer you. If you are seeing this, you can see comment on the send a comment that you need help on the YouTube channel, and we'll definitely reply you and know the best way to help you. But if you just stay like an idle man waiting for we to complete this, you might not really get it perfectly. With the ones we have done, with the previous ones you have knowledge you have now, you can start doing something. If you have been following through to this level, I believe you can start doing something what we have done. And so let's continue. Let's continue. Let's give this new container a class called before we give it a class, okay, let's just give it a class. We'll come down to that project section. So we have the project section and put in mind now this is the point. Okay, not just project section. There's something I notice. You can see from this hero section, from this point now, from this project down to the end, you can see there is a kind of universal space. Let me use this to explain it. You can see that you have this spacing. Yeah, you can see the spacing is down until we get to the footer. There is no spacing again. So what we are going to do now to get that spacing, we are going to now come to the point where we wrap from here. Div. So this is a kind of when you look at your work, you know what to do if you understand structuring. So I will just wrap this so that I will be able to customize this space that we have here. So now let's give this class and give it body contents. So let me come here and body content, or what will I give on body content is just padding. Padding 0 pixel. Am I saying 0 pixel? So this padding now is like just basic top, left and right, no bottom. But bottom is even if there's bottom, it's just minor, like small space can see. So I'll just give this for the top, I'll give it 15 pixel, or let me just give it 20 pixel. Left and right. For the right, now this is the right, I'll give it 15 pixel. The next one is the bottom, I'll give it 5 pixel. And the next one is the left, I'll give the left 15 pixel also. So if you have been following us, you understand what I've done there. So let's come down and you will see. Okay, the spacing is still small. It's still small. Let's increase it. Let's make it 35, 35, 25, 25. The left is still not okay. Let's make this 30, 30. Let's make it 30, 30. Yeah. I think it's kind of coming out 30, 30. Or let's still increase it. Let me increase it up to 45, 40, 40. Okay, I think this is it. This actually is it. So now the next thing we are going to now take now is this project container. So this is the next thing we're going to take, project container. Now put in mind that there is something I also noticed. You can see that the space between here and here is kind of similar between here and here and kind of similar between here and here. So what I will do now, yep, what I will do, yep, is to give this body container a kind of display flex direction, column. If I don't give flex direction column, it's going to go horizontally. If I don't want it to go horizontally, I want it to go vertically. That's why I'm adding flex. Because by default, display flex is horizontally. It's going to align everything to the left, to the right. So everything will now be going by the side. So it's not okay. I want it to go vertically. So as I'm adding that, so I'll now put gap of 30 of gap of 50. Let me just use 50 pixel. Why I use gap here, you might not really understand why I'm using gap. So that it's going to create distance between each content. But if we don't really go where as we are going, we might move the gap. But let's hold it there with the gap. So let's just hold it there with the gap. So now let's continue. So what we are going to do now is to find way to get this. So you can see there is a bottom line here. So we are going to tie this header and give it a bottom line. So what I'm going to do, project header. That is why I added this container here. Project header. So I've succeeded in putting the project header. So let's add this here. So we're going to, first of all, I'm going to style the text inside of it. So I'll use this hereditary kind of writing CSS. So since project header has only one H3 tag, I can put space and put the H3 and style the H3 rather than giving the H3 a class name. So let's come down to this place and look at the header and know the font size that we need for it. So you can see 24 line height black, 24 line height black. Let me kind of plug my laptop. So, so what we're going to do now is to color. Color is black. Line height 36, 36 pixel. Font size 24, 24 pixel. Then font weight 400. I think this is it. So let's save it. Let's save it now and see how it looks here. Okay, this is supposed to be projects. Projects. So it's not really still looking the way we want it. So let's add our letter spacing. Letter spacing. Letter spacing of 3 pixel. Yeah, it's coming out here. This is okay. Yeah, letter spacing of 3 pixel brought the look that we want it to look. So now let me add my border bottom 1 pixel, border bottom 1 pixel, solid. I've explained border, so I think so. Let me just put black first and see how it looks. So let's look for our border and see the color gray. I think gray is preferable. Gray would preferable. Okay, gray is still lighter. Let me just reduce it from here. It's still lighter. It's still lighter. Yeah, I think it's still lighter. uh, let's still reduce it. So yeah, so I think this is it. Let's take it a little bit up. So yeah, this is it. So now, yeah. So if you want to convert it, you have to and click on top. You can see this up, just click on it, it will change. Let me do it again. Click it, click it, click it, click it. So this is what I want. So the only thing that is left now is padding. You can see the distance between the distance here. So I'll just put padding, padding, top and down. So I'll put 15 pixel and 0 pixel left and right. This is kind of, this one is, okay, let me add more. Let's make it 20. No, this is bigger. Let's make it 18. Yeah, this is it. So you have gotten what we want. So you can see the way it is. Now let's go straight to the content inside. You can see. So let's go straight to this content correctly. So we are done with the header. You can see the header is looking, you can see it's looking the way it needs to look. So you can see we're actually achieving what we need to achieve on this project. And it's looking where you can see the nav bar. And the nav bar has the shadow. And the shadow is coming out the way it needs to come out. You can see the shadow. And I explain how to create shadow. I explain the four face. The first one, horizontal, vertical, blur, uh, 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 what's this thing called? Ratio. Is it ratio? That is distance. then the color, and you can mix color in. You can add two color there. It will mix it for you. Like can add two color and give them different uh uh vertical, left, and different arrangements. You can add two color and mix them as one into work. So if you still want to know more about it, you can still go to W3 school and you see how to add two or three colors. But I believe what we have given you is a start for you to forge ahead for what we need. And the more projects you build, the more good you are in this aspect. So now let's okay. Just want to know if anybody is having any issue. Okay. So let's do the last stuff for today and we are done. And you can ask any question after now. We are kind of trying to make Saturday time where you can ask questions, bring your bodies, and we'll solve it there. So, but we have not really gotten the perfect way to do that. But we'll try and see that we start it from next week. So, so give class project content. So project content is the wrapper. Now we have 8 good images we are going to be using for this. Let's see all our images. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the 8 images here. So now what we are going to do is to add our image img src. Then we'll add, you will locate it since they're on the same directory. This HTML, one step out, image, uh, um, so project one. I will add the content there. You can see there is a content there. When you go to this, you can see the content there. We'll add a div and a p tag. What's the content for this? We'll have summer house. So with this, we have gotten what we wanted, the arrangement we wanted. So I'll just copy this and paste it here. Or before I paste it, let me just give it a class name. So because all of them are generally going to use a similar class name. So it's not going to be something like a big deal class name. So let me just use class name so that I will not go and come back. The main reason why all of them are using the same class, you can see they are both the same content. That's why I say I think being it was JavaScript, I will not have to create it multiple times. I'll just create it once and try to populate it with just the image and the content there, the text, and everything will align the way it needs to align. But since this is just HTML, I just have to create all of them differently. So, well, they are going to use the same style and the same look and feel. So let me just rush that because we have little time left. So projects, uh, projects, projects, detail. Let me just use project detail. Then project detail, image, project detail, description, project im. Let me increase it so you guys will see. Sorry, I did not do that from the beginning. So you guys will see what I'm doing. Project detail, um, image, then project detail, title, title box, then project detail title. So with this now, I'll just copy this same stuff here and just replace all of them in. But we are going to change we are still going to change the content so that they will look differently. So, so I'm just going to go to the first one. I want to start to change the content. So I'll just use different thing. So you can see there are many templates here. You can come to W3 school, look for template, try it out yourself. Even if it's just to try out the nav bar only with what we have, try it out. If you can't do it, you can ask me question. I can give you a helping hand so that at least you are ahead. Get so boom. Yeah. So the next we are going to change now is the images. So we have this. So we're going to just remove this and put the second one. We're going to remove this and put the third one. Just going to remove this and put the fourth one. Going to remove this and put the fifth one. Put the fifth one. I'm going to remove this and put the sixth one. I'm going to remove this and put the seventh. Then I'm going to remove this and put the eighth one. So with this now, we have all images intact. Let's look at it and see for ourselves. Let's see. So you can see we have everything intact now. Everything is there. It's for us to style it and let it look the way we need it to look. First and foremost, we already know we have our container project content, which is the container harboring it. Let's go and style that one first. Let's close this. Let's style that one first. Projects. So what do we need to do at that point? Let's look at what we are working on. So you can see there's a space between here and here. And so let's just give it up and down padding, padding up and down. We'll give it 25 pixel, 0 pixel. So let's watch it and see if 25 pixel work. No, 25 pixel is not working and see it's too small. Let's give it 35 pixel. It's not still working. You can see this is kind of bigger. You can see it's bigger. So this is still small. Let's make it 45. Yeah, this is it. Exactly what we are looking for. This is it. So now there is another thing we need to do. Well, let's tie the images. Let's tie the images and see. Let's style the images and the content and bring it smaller. So the way it's supposed to look. So I'm putting mind for the fact that we want to put this is 100% size and it needs to contain 4 images. So what will come into your mind when it needs to contain four images is the fact that you have to divide 100% by 4. So if we divide 100% by 4 is 25. So and you will see that since it's 25, we still have spaces here. We still have spaces here. So for the fact that we're going to have spaces, that means we are going to reduce the images. So let's say 23. So, but now let's see that all the images are kind of arranged horizontally. Then I'm going to show you guys something that we need to work on too. So let's see. So how are we going to do that with the display with the flex box? Flex, display flex. You can see display flex is kind of here. And you can see, but all of them are kind of going to the crossing the boundary. So now the only way to make it not to cross the boundary is something that we need to do. There's something we call flex wrap. Flex wrap. So with flex wrap, if I put no wrap, it will not wrap it. It will still be the way it is. But if I put flex wrap, so it's going to wrap it now and break it. You can see. So it cannot, once it gets to this end and it sees it cannot complete this space, it breaks it to the end. So it breaks it now and fall into the ground. So it continues to the second line again. Once it sees it can't continue, it breaks it and falls to the next line. It continues to the next line. Once it sees it can't continue, it breaks it and falls to the next line. So you can see now that it's not overflowing to the left, but it's kind of working well. So with this now, we'll give this a width of 100%. Width 100%. So now we are done with this part. So now let's come to the container of this. Since they all of them have the same style, same class name, so it's going to be, if I'm designing for one, I'm designing for all. So that is one. That is why I wanted to do that. If I'm designing for one, I'm designing for all. So I'm going to use width of 23%. Now this 23% means that I divided the 100% into 4 places, which is 25. But I wanted space, that's why I'm removing that 2 pixel out of it. So you can see. So that is it for now. Don't worry, we'll actually make this work and it's going to work fine. So this is it now. So the thing now is that the image is not conforming to it, but we are going to get the image conform to it. So let's come down and take the image and give the image width 100%. And once you come, you see we have gotten the size. The actual size is here. So now let's I'm going to put it, let's say um, object fits. Let me use my object fits cover so that it's going to cover the image size. So now with this now, you can actually, let's increase it to 24 and see. Think, let me see what we have here. It is smaller. Let's make it 25. I think this is bigger. Then let me give this one gap 10 pixel. So this is what I'm avoiding. So I'm going to use 24. Yeah, I'm going to use 24. So, but you can see it's not reaching the end. So what I'm going to do uh, justify content space between so that it's going to reach the end. You can see that this line, you can watch this line and this one, you can see They has actually reached the end, this line and this line, this line and this line. So we want us to do the same, but here is kind of having space. So I'm going to use space between so that it's going to lap to the end. You can see it's lapping to the end now and it's having that space. So I think we are getting it now. We are getting it. Gap. So now what we are going to do. So I hope you are getting what I'm doing. I know I've explained justify content before to create an equal space between the content and make sure the both end are kind of lapping to the end, the left and the right. So that is why I was able to use like to hit the end of this. I just usually gap. Gap would just create a gap, but to not really give it to reach the end. That was why I actually used that. So the next thing we are going to do is to, I think we need to create bottom margin, margin bottom. We are going to come and take. Now, don't forget, this is where that aspect we talked about position comes into play. You can see this is just position to the top. So we are going to position it to the top now. So what are we going to do? The container here, this project details, we are going to make it position fixed, position relative, sorry, position relative to its space. Then now we're going to take that container, this project detail title box. We are going to put it position absolute. So it's going to be absolute to the relative position. And then we are going to put top zero. And we're going to put left also left zero. So that's on the top, it's going to be lapping to the left too. So you can see I've gotten what we wanted. Is at that point, it's just to style it and we are done. So you can see our project is coming out fine the way it needs to look, and the spacing is kind of touching. Somebody sees you doing this now, you're getting this perfectly. The person will actually recommend you to projects. So, but when you're not getting something correctly, they get scared and they keep on asking you, are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you can do it? Maybe let's see, maybe the next one, once the next one comes, we'll give it to you and test you. But once you can prove to them we're doing something like this, then when I was working on projects, then when I was starting programming, so I actually built many of these templates that you are seeing me using to teach you guys. I actually built them on my own. Then there was a day somebody asked me if I can build a project for him. I told him yes I can. Person said, okay, show me your works. I've not built a real life project before then, but I actually picked those ones I have done. They are still real life. These ones I have done, I actually picked them and showed the guy. The guy say, "Ah, this is nice, this is nice." That was how I was able to get recommended to a project. So I didn't be I just stayed like that without doing it. It will not really make any sense. So let's tie this last part and we are done. So let's actually give it a kind of padding, background color black and padding. Think this is pure black, there's no shadow in it. Background color black. Think there's no shadow in that one. Background color black, and let's just take the text and style the text so that we'll be seeing what we are styling. So I just took this style to style it. So if you have any question, you can ask me anytime. We'll get this done together. So let me pick my color, my font picker, and look at this. 15 pixel, line height 23, white 400, color white, font size 15 pixel, line height 23, font weight 400. font width 400. Then you can see, this one does not really have that spacing. With that spacing, let's be sure. If you look at the way our test is, we will know. Let me just give it letter spacing of 2. Letter spacing 1.5 pixel. Doesn't really, and we'll give it 1. Think this is okay. 1 is okay. So this is it. 1 is okay. Then let's pad this aspect and we are done. So let me just cancel this exit. So let me just give it padding now for this. Let me pad this padding for top and right. I'll give it 5 pixel, then 8 pixel left and right. Let's see it. It's still not looking okay. It's always looking okay. This one is kind of bigger. Ours is not really bigger. So let's give this 12 pixel, 8 pixel. So I think this is it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So you can see we have succeeded in getting this done. So our project aspect is done now. So this is where we'll stop for today. So this is it. You can see it's done. So this is the code that we are able to use to actualize it. So you can see it. You can see it. So whichever one that works for you, you can just follow through what we have done and understand it. If you have any question, you can ask us at any point in time. We'll be ready to ask you. You can see that because of that looking similar, I was able to use one kind of style, just give them the same style, class names on every junction. And what I'm styling one, I'm styling the others. And it works fine. So if you have any question for us, if you have any question, you can ask. We are waiting for you. So this is it. If you have any question, you have 5 minutes to ask your questions. If you have any question, you have 5 minutes to ask the question. If you have any question, we are waiting for you. You can ask. So if you have no question, think we are good to go. So by next week, we'll come and complete the remaining. If you see know where we got, I share the project link and I'll push this one now. Let me push this code so that you can clone it, get 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 comments. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I've pushed this code so that anybody that wants it can get it. So I get up. So thank you guys for joining. Okay. Thank you for the class. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'll add this now. Let me look for the GitHub and add it to the description. So this is the GitHub URL. Let me add it to the description of this. Okay, once we are done, I will edit it and add it to the description. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. I seriously appreciate your commitment. So thank you.